Let's take a look at Beesender Chat and Chatbot functionality, which can be integrated with Creatio with the help of ready-to-use connector available on Creatio Marketplace. Let's assume that I am a client of Creatio and I'm browsing Creatio website. I see the Chatbot button, so I decide to start the chat. The Welcome Bot offers us to choose the channel that we would like to use in order to continue our conversation. We prefer to stay on the website. As the first step, the bot offers us to choose the language. There are a total of 20 languages available for the Welcome Bot. My language of choice is English. Initially, we were browsing the website to find some information about the company. So we select FAQ category from the drop-down menu. I'm mostly interested in the setup of Creatio, so I select that as the next step. Then I select the question that I'm interested in, and after receiving the answer, I realize that I would also like to go back and ask another question out of the list that I saw previously. So I do that. I realize that unfortunately, the information that was provided by the chatbot is not sufficient, and I would like to talk to a real-life person and learn more. So I choose to go back to the main menu and select the option to chat with an agent. In cases when all Creatio users who are allowed to pick up the incoming chats are offline, the bot may offer the user to select alternative methods of communication. Out of all the options, I, as a customer, am comfortable with a call. So I select that. Since I'm located in Europe, the chatbot asks for my consent to process my personal data. I agree to such processing. Now the bot asks me for my contact information in order to create a new contact record in the system and create an activity for a contact center agent to call me back once one of them becomes available. Additionally, the bot asks me about the timeframes within which I'm comfortable to be talking to the agent. And once that is done, I can close the chat and simply wait for my call. Now let's take a look at the contact center agent view. Once we go to Creatio System to the Chats section, we're faced with the list of all chats that occurred. And once we drill down to the record that is the most recent, we can see all of the information about this chat. We can see the channel that was used, along with the list of all of the messages that were sent, both from the bot and the client. On the FAQ tab, we're able to see what questions the customer was interested in and selected in the drop-down menu. Additionally, we see the contact record that was created with the contact information that was provided by the customer. Since there was no such record previously existing in the system, a new record was created. If the same record was found, the two records would be merged with Creatio's flexible merging and deduplication rules. Apart from the contact information that was provided by the customer, on the Personal Data tab, we can see the information on this customer's data processing, if they agreed for the data to be processed, as well as the details of such consent. Apart from the contact data and the consent information, on the Interested In tab, we can see what questions the customer was interested in, as well as what answers they received. So the CC agent who's going to be calling our customer are able to plan the conversation ahead and maybe be prepared for this consultation better. At the top of the page, we can see that an activity was generated in connection to this chat. The subject of the activity notifies us that there was a request for a callback. Once we drill down to the activity record, we can see that we have the contact information available to us right away, and the activity itself is connected to both the contact record and the chat that we initially looked at as the CC agent. Now let's take a look at how the Welcome Bot can be configured. The users can set up different functionality for different languages. This may depend on specific needs in various regions. Let's drill down to one of the records. At the top, we can see the name of the localization, whether this language is enabled or disabled, if this language is spoken by our CC agents, and hence will allow the incoming chat to be connected to a live operator, if this language is spoken in a region that is part of the GDPR, and if we want to provide the FAQs in this language as well. Additionally, a tooltip is available with each of these options. In the Phrases tab, we can see the list of all of the questions and messages that can be sent by the bot. A user with sufficient access rights can edit any of those messages at any time without the need to code. For example, let's add the company name to the farewell message. Now, Let's take a look at the Frequently Asked Questions tab. Here we're able to set up the tree of questions, more specifically the categories of the questions, and the corresponding questions for each category. We're able to add unlimited number of categories. For example, let's add a new case category. And then associate a new question with the category we have just added. We're providing both the question and the answer that's provided when a user selects this question. Just as easily, the users are able to translate their newly added categories and questions into other languages. Once we drill down to, for example, Spanish, we already see that the new category that we have just added, the cases, are already available in the categories detail. And the only thing that we need to do is simply provide the translation of the word. Creatio dashboards can be built on any information stored in the system or any other systems that are integrated with Creatio bidirectionally. In the same way, the users can build dashboards, charts, graphs, and lists on the information on incoming chats, their processing time, the most used categories, the questions that our customers are mostly interested in, and really any other information that the user wants to see. Additionally, any data can be exported from the system by a user with sufficient access rights in form of XLS files.